Hi everyone, I'm Adam. And in this problem, we're going to be using the given information that cosine of some angle u is equal to 7/25, where u is some angle between 0 and pi over 2. And what we want to do is find parts A, the quadrant of the angle u over 2, and B, the exact values of sine of u over 2, cosine u over 2, and tangent of u over 2. So let's get started, say with part A. So we want the quadrant of u over 2. So first let's think and look at our given information. We have that u is between 0 and pi over 2. So the way we can think about that is, well, if an angle is between 2 points, half of that angle is still logically going to be between those. But we'll use some math to kind of verify that. So we want the angle of u over 2. How can we get that? Well, what we can do is think of this multiplying through this inequality by a half, namely because I'm trying to develop an angle u over 2 in the middle. So if we multiply through each of our values, that gives us 1/2 times 0, which is 0, and that's less than u over 2, and then 1/2 times pi over 2 gives us pi over 4. So if u is between 0 and pi over 2, we know that u over 2 is between 0 and pi over 4, which namely is in our first quadrant. So that gives us part A. So our quadrant of angle u over 2 is, say, quadrant 1, or the first quadrant. So the first part's done. So next what we want to do is find the exact values of sine of u over 2, cosine u over 2, and tangent u over 2. Now we know where u over 2 sits, but we don't know the exact value of that. So what we're going to use is our half angle identities. So we'll start with sine. So sine of u over 2 we know is equal to plus or minus, we'll put that in a second, the square root of 1 minus cosine u over 2. Now, I didn't write the plus or minus because at least we know where the angle u over 2 sits. It's in quadrant 1 where sine is positive. So we're going to take the positive of that square root. So filling this in, so we know the value of cosine of u. That's part of our given information. So we have the square root of 1 minus 7/25 over 2. And so we'll just do some fractional arithmetic here. 1 minus 7/25, we'll think of this as 25 over 25 minus 7/25, which gives us, say, the square root of 18/25, all divided by 2. Dividing all the way by 2, we divide the numerator up here by 2, which gives us the square root of 9/25, or positive 3 over 5. So the sine of u over 2 is 3/5. So that's our sine. Next, let's take a look at cosine. So cosine of u over 2, again, is plus or minus the square root of 1 plus cosine u over 2. And again, our angle is in the first quadrant, so we're going to take the positive of this square root because cosine is positive in the first quadrant. So filling in, we have the square root of 1 plus 7/25 over 2, which, doing the same trick, we can think of this as 25 over 25 plus 7 over 25, which gives us the square root of 32 over 25 divided by 2. Dividing by 2, we divide our numerator. So this is equal to the square root of 16 over 25, or 4 over 5, or 4/5. And that's the cosine value of u over 2. And lastly, we want to take a look at tangent. So tangent of, say, u over 2 is equal to, and there's two forms, but we'll take the form 1 minus cosine u divided by sine of u. Now let's take a look at this for a moment. 1 minus cosine u. Cosine u we have as our part of our given information. That's 7/25, and we've been using that. Sine of u we don't have. We know what sine of u over 2 is, so let's not make the mistake of plugging in 3/5 on the bottom, but we have to figure out what sine of u is going to be. So how can we do that? Well, going back to some more of our identities, what we can do is be a little tricky, and we can think of sine of u as being equal to sine of 2 times the angle u over 2. So these two things are equivalent. So really we can think of sine of u as a double angle in a way. Sine of 2 times u over 2. And the double angle formula is equal to 2 sine of the angle we're doubling, so sine of u over 2 times cosine of the angle we're doubling, or cosine u over 2. So all of this coming down here, we can plug this in. So again, numerator, just 1 minus cosine of u, 1 minus 7/25. And sine of u is going to be 2 times sine of u over 2, or 2 times sine of u over 2 was 3/5, times cosine of u over 2, which was 4/5. We'll just simplify this a little bit. So what do we have? Well, 1 minus 7/25, think of this as 25 over 25 minus 7/25. It's going to give us 18/25 in the numerator. And simplifying the bottom, multiplying through 2 times 3 times 4 gives us 24 over 5 times 5, 25. So we have a fraction divided by a fraction. Lastly, we're just going to invert and multiply. So take 18/25 times 25 over 24. And our 25s here will cancel. And lastly, we see 18 over 24. 6 will go into 18 3 times. And 6 will go into 24 4 times. So lastly, this will simplify to 3 over 4, which gives us the tangent, the exact value of tangent of u over 2. Thank you very much.